waiting for so long. We've been waiting for this time to begin. We ain't getting any older. I kinda feel a little younger. Run away and embrace the day. The sun is out, won't go away. Feel the clouds on your shoulder. Touch the sky, feeling bolder.
Hey guys, Vilba here. So, welcome to piece number 2 of the You Are Precious Jewels of God series. The coloring is underway. There was a conversation in the background that was not for you, so I decided to mute it so that we can watch each other. You can watch me color and put my pencil in my mouth. So anyway, thank you for joining us. For those of you new subscribers in the house, welcome. I clap for you. Whoop, 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 whoop. I clap for you. And for those of you who are watching without subscribing, please hit the thumbs up button and also subscribe. I'm going to let the music play in the background so that you can be able to watch the masterpiece come into life. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to watch an art piece transition from a sketch, from a plain sketch into a colored sketch, and finally into a canvas someday down the line. So yeah, please like, share, and subscribe, and let us continue to grow and the pace that God wants us to grow.
If we tried it, we can make it. But don't we ever just take some chances and stop your thinking and start your living?
I know you can't see my face here, but that is on purpose because the focus was the artwork. So yeah, you get to see the process. Sometimes you don't get to see this. Sometimes I talk too much and sometimes I don't talk too much. But today I decided to minimize the talking so that you can see the whole process, including the the lip pouts and all that. But yeah, so far I hope we are still together and I've not lost you somewhere in Timbuktu, and we are together in Malachi. Kidding. But anyway, yeah, so far I hope we're still together and the process is still continuing.
This feels like time is making fun of me, taking away at the walls and I can barely breathe. This might be my only chance to leave. Let's not miss this opportunity. You're leaving with me. You're the king of Carolina. You're the singer. Your band's behind you. Crowds around here, they just talk through you. Nothing's better when they love you. Rumor has it there's an angel in the crowd where you guys are playing. We've been drinking, so now we're praying they don't find us, 'cause man, we're wasted. Feels like time is making fun of me, ticking away at the walls and I can barely breathe. This might be my only chance to leave. Let's not miss this opportunity. We feel crazy. Tell my family I love them. Tell them that I'm doing everything I can to make it home for Christmas. Gonna make it alive. Do it again, yeah. Yeah.
Ekuru 40 to 60k depending on the size of target. Only go kuira
Tigo negide mo basa anchi ko mari ngyo ko de puede.
kwa gachire nyomba.
To shipegede. Ko se kena neke bwa tibere.
For people who are starting, it's very good.
Na toma taria de gado sukete chingo ko tukete chimbo. Ya ni una shida.
Because the goal mete ya
Bwata
lenge.
macho bwata sola. Ai wone que logo nyego kuna kodwa oko nyego lego chana sola. Sola edia okobe ko chikobe kamba ke fridge. Mbake fridge akere gen. Ai na ide ga yoko manya no ko de machingin cha oko edi chingin cha ko muono.
Sinakwambia walinishow. But hakuna mtu amekuwa na hiyo idea ya kuizitumia kama nini. Wenye unaona wa Kikuyu, hizi side za Tigoni. Hizo side za Tigoni za kinalia miko. Hata pia. Na unajua mtu analipa pesa ngapi Uncle Boy? Per night? 30k per night. 30k per night wengine wana charge. Kama za huyu musician mwenye relocate to Kenya, America anaitwa Kelis. Hakona glamping hizo anatengeneza Naivasha. My friend, hizo zake hata ni 100k kwenda juu per night. Guys, so we are back. Sorry, I'm sure you're wondering why in the beginning of the video you could only hear me doing a voice over. I had to do that because family was discussing some things that were not necessarily important for this platform. And yeah, so today we are coloring, we are putting the final touches of You Are Precious Jewels of God. You've seen the sketches, you've seen me play around with the sketches using AI, and you've seen the AI sketch shorts. And so for this piece I have chosen to go with the green, gold, and mustard yellow. and black. So right now I'm remaining with a few parts, the skin and this part here, which is what you're gonna see now, because my mom has gone upstairs, my uncle has gone to sleep as well, and then we do the jewel head, and then yeah, they call it an expedition. So forgive me, I was not able to say hey guys da, 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 da. I'm gonna do that with a video voiceover, and then because I'm listening to this on here, I'm gonna put it quietly. So we're gonna finish this, then got my colors, trusted colors here. I'm gonna put them here so that I show you. I'm in a jacket because Kenyan winter has begun and it's very, 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 very cold, especially in this area that we live in. It's extremely cold. It's extremely, extremely cold, but we are surviving. Like I said in my Sabbath video, cold you can put on, you can cover up. Heat you can't do anything. Let me oil my lips so that you don't be saying she comes on here with dry lips and chapped lips. We ain't coming here with chapped lips. Good girl. Now that's done. We're gonna put this aside here. So I'm gonna go on to, because I already did this, the black part. So I'm gonna do black, then we're going to add a little bit of brownish and the mustard for some color. Don't worry where, but you're going to see it happen shortly. So we are going to begin you off with that gently, and then right now it is 1:25, so I have until around 2:30. I can start on the other sketch piece, so that yeah, we can do mustard here, we can do mustard here, and then we will do a little bit of brown. So I'm going to take my pencil, then I'm going to do something that you rarely see me do, and that is add a piece there and there, so there will be different shapes, don't worry. Or because I don't want it to literally be this one, because jewels always have precise shaping, I will go with the shapes of the jewels. Yeah, I'm gonna do something like a pentagon over there and here as well. Yeah, so this will have the brown. So let me get my browns. Browns, where you? Browns, where you? Browns, where are you? My brownie brownie. You can do that as well. For some color. Oh, shush. Not you. Come back here. Ooh, not you too. But I guess you're trying to come in, and so I think we're gonna go with this brown. Yes, definitely. Definitely. So I will give you a giveaway. Sometimes, not all times, sometimes the squares here, the squares that I do my signature style on the ends of all my paintings, sometimes they signify the next series, how many pieces it will be, or this current series, how many pieces it will be. Next time, maybe when I will start doing because I intend to do this small prints for this, they will only go to one specific person, because once the client orders this, no other real painted artwork will be there. So there will only be 3 pieces of these specific paintings ever: the sketch, the original painting, and the first and only print. So maybe when I start doing that, I will ask a question, and will if you will be keen, you will know. When the question comes, you will be keen, you will know what I will ask. But I've given you a giveaway. These squares, they always represent one thing. My next series, how many pieces it will be. This current series, how many pieces this series is, and the amount of steps or processes it takes to make a certain pressure, certain, gem, the process that the gems go through. In most cases, it's usually 7 processes, and even in the other series, the mind series, 7. And also 7 is a whole number. It represents God, the wholeness of God. It is his number. It is the one that is chosen even for his Sabbath. So I will be asking those questions down here, or when we, because once we go above 500, I will, once in a blue moon, do a giveaway, and that will only apply to people who are in East Africa, or maybe in Africa for now, because, or yeah, we can just leave it open to the entire world, and we will have specifics for what the client will be required, or what the lucky winner will be required. But either way, that is the deal. So let me get on to the other piece. So as usual, I told you to make sure that your painting gets, or your sketch gets, the maximum effective color vibe. Put it in your mouth, and then let's do that before I sharpen it, because I already dunked it. I already dunked my donut. I already dunked my donut into my mouth. And now that we're done with that, we go in. So I've got to count the squares just to know that they are the number that I've told you. Exactly 7. Wholeness. Wholeness. Let's step into the wholeness club, girls. Let's step into the Sorry. Let's get on with work. We got no time to play around. So we established the corners with black. My black pencils are, and my cream are barely hanging on to life, but they will make it. Once I can get the color pencil in River Road, when I go to these bookshops, I will come and show you, because I do not record when walking in downtown. I don't have a 4K camera. Maybe we will buy that when we go back to. So that is gonna be, those two are gonna be that. These two are gonna be flesh, so that there is distinctiveness, and I think that's what I will do with the entire series. So we're gonna count and see if the paintings are 7, the sketches are 7. And if they are 7, you got yourself a deal. You've got yourself a deal. You've got yourself a deal. Jump the jungle. Watch out from that tree. Today, I just remembered something. I was watching my WeChat channel movies, videos, not movies. And some person comes and says that, they care about bees, and how we are overexploiting bees and their products, and how we should stop consuming products made from bees. And they put out a really good argument. Pollination happens because of bees, plants, and all that. Bees get tired producing constant honey and all that. Those valid points, when you look at them, you're like, makes pretty much sense. But the thing is this: when you watch the bee movie, when the bees went to court, what happened? They sued for humans to stop using their bees products, and the court awarded them that. And then guess what happened? Now, because there was overflow of honey, bees no longer saw the need to work to pollinate flowers. So when flowers were not pollinated, plants started dying. Whole swatches of the planet started dying. Reason being, bees are workers. And when they don't have a reason to work, there is no reason to produce honey. So the honey is the product or result of their work. Bees need productivity to survive. So in this movie, the bee that was in charge of the litigation process had a thing for a human. Crazy part. Don't even get me started on that. But we're not going to delve into that because that is bestiality. Animal, human, romantic sorts of nonsensical things, not going to happen in our Christian world. Our Adventist world is frowned upon, and it's biblically exed for a reason. So yeah, so in the B movie, so the lady is a florist in the B movie, so she has to go. I don't know whether her name was Maya or something. I should search. Let me search it for you and see what the name of the bee was and the name of the lady. B movie 2007. Okay, yes, the bee was called Barry B. Benson. Barry B. Benson. And the bee lady, I call her the bee lady or the flower lady, was done by Renee Zellweger. So Renee was the lady, and I'm trying to get her name. Let me see. Vanessa Bloom. Miss Vanessa Bloom, not Maya. So Vanessa tells Barry she's gotta go all the way to Venice or somewhere. I think it's I think it's in Venice, yeah, for the last flower event, because she's a florist, the last flower event in the entire world. And then after that, there will be no more flowers, no more pollen, nothing. No plant will flower ever again in the world. And the bee's like, don't you think that's so good? You know how the funny things, because Seinfeld is the one who acts the movie. And the guy is like, why is there only one flower thingy in the world now? It's like, yeah, bees, when you went to court and won, and we stopped using the word honey, we stopped using honey products, bee products, bees no longer saw the reason to work. So there was no need for pollination. Why would they need to spread their pollen? Because bees, when they're moving from one flower to another, you know how cross pollination works. They carry pollen from one flower to another, and in most cases it's a male flower to a female flower, and or vice versa and all that. Not female flower to male, because male don't. So it's always from the male flower to the female flower for pollination. And sometimes they cross carry pollination from certain species of flowers to certain species of flowers, and the whole thing keeps the natural environment in nature thriving. So the whole idea of me telling you about this movie was because we all have noble ideas. I'm an Adventist, and we are mostly encouraged to be vegan because of, not because we want to go around shaking animals have life, all those. No, it's because in the last days we are encouraged, we are told, the things with the vaccines and all those, the jabby jabbers, they go into the animals, they change the makeup of the animals cause meats illnesses and all that. And also, as a result of seeing in the last days, many people would care shit about your health. They will do anything and everything just to make an extra buck. That includes pumping dangerous things that they know will be harmful to the body into the animals to increase their yield. So meat products, milk, eggs. The only exception that we are given is if you are in an area, like for example, if you live in Africa, in most because Africa, most parts are arid, and the only survival is animal, meats and milks. There is an exception, but you're told to, as much as possible, try to stay away, look for other alternatives. That is why we always encourage to do country living. Try live off the land, plants and seeds. And if at all you must eat meat, rear your own animals and make sure you know what they eat, where you can navigate and you can monitor where they go, what they eat, navigate the terrain, grass fed and all that, pasture raised and all that. So the lady takes on a flight, goes all the way to the flower thingy. While she's there, that's the hub of all flowers, the bee, Barry Benson, has an idea. Hey, why don't we get all these bee flowers? Because there's a lot of pollen. We get it back to my hive and we use the bee rangers, because in the movie they had bee rangers, siphon the pollen out of the flowers and transport it to all parts of the world, because they would jump from one hive to literally. It's like they had a meeting point for all. That was the meeting point in the main hive, in the master hive, where the other bees would come collect pollen and the bee rangers would use their pollen siphoning guns, because it was very creative and all that, to disperse the pollen all over the world, or all over the area of that world in the movie. So this thing, the bee has to land back into there in Pasadena. No, in Pasadena or somewhere. They had to land back in Pasadena, or they had to go to Pasadena. I don't remember that, or Venice or whichever. Or is it Venice, Pasadena? I don't know. I remember. If you watched the bee movie, you maybe can comment down below and correct me on the place where they had to get the flowers from to the place where Vanessa Bloom and Barry lived in New York, of course. And I think it's in Venice, Pasadena. Yeah, I think it's in Venice, Pasadena. If it's something like that, let me just check if it's Venice, Pasadena. I might be uttering things that are absolutely horrendously wrong, and you're like, dare you, how dare you place Venice in Pasadena? So let me just Google it. Venice, no, Pasadena. What the hell, Pasadena. Ah, yes. So, yeah, Venice, Pasadena. It's in California. And yeah, it's around 26 to 30 miles. So, yeah, now I understand. The lady had to take a flight all the way from central New York City, to Pasadena, Venice, Pasadena. And yeah, that's where the flower show was happening, the last flower show in the world. So, not that I want to get carried off, let me itch a little bit on my face. So it's in actually Venice, Los Angeles, so Pasadena, that area. So now where was I? So B gets an idea that, you know what, these flowers, we're gonna hijack the flowers, we're gonna put them on the plane, and we're gonna take them back to Central New York, yeah, Central Park, New York, that area where Vanessa Bloom lived, and we're gonna disperse, because that's where the hillsides of, I don't know, Manhattan, although that is, it's a big place. So there is some forests there. So the lady lived in one of those areas there. So we're gonna take the pollen, the flowers, we're gonna put them on the plane, and then we're gonna go we're gonna fly all the way to New York. So while on the flight, something happens. The bee goes around flying, and oh no, the bee and Vanessa have an argument. So they're like, I don't want you to come here. So the bee has to go. I don't know whether, no, yeah, the bee flew all the way into the cabin or is it entered the vents of the plane? I don't remember what exactly. It's been a while since I watched the movie. So it ends up in the cockpit, and while it's in the cockpit, I don't know what happens, whether it stings one of the pilots, or the co-pilot passes out, or the captain passes out, or they literally, oh yeah, they all pass out hitting each other because they're trying to fight the bee in the cockpit. So oh yeah, the bee enters the vent, now that I remember correctly. So the bee, Barry, gets into the voiceover system, voice com system that the pilots use. Could Miss Vanessa Bloom please step into the cockpit? And being the panicky bee, he was like, please hurry. And then, so Vanessa is like, everybody's looking at her like, what the hell did you do? So she goes in there, and when Barry opens the door, finds the two pilots passed out, kaput, and is like, how is the plane flying itself? I don't know, you gotta fly it. So the whole thing, the lady has to now take control of the plane, of flight. And then while they're flying, lightning hits the plane. And then for the first time, the girl is like, oh well, this doesn't seem so hard, I can actually do it. And then lightning hits the plane, disables autopilot. And then now the hardest part comes. They have to fly the plane to make sure that the flowers get to New York on time, so that they don't dry and wilt and the pollen becomes useless, or does the nature thing, and the whole endeavor is futile. So in this entire movie, there's this theory that bees physically, according to the laws of physics or science, should not be able to fly. Reason being, they've got a big fat behind and the wings are too small. All that stuff that goes into physics arguments that bees should technically not be able to fly. Nothing in this world makes sense. God is the one who knows why they fly, literally. So that argument is closed there. Bees fly because God allows them to fly, or God gave them the ability to fly the way He wanted them to fly, the way He created them. So the bee now literally has to call on to his other bee mates, and then they have to come and help him how to fly. And after all, he says a bee can't fly, so he decides to tell Vanessa, just fly the way a bee would fly. So they get down there, and the other bees from the other New York part come to the airport and create a motif of a flower, and so that it's blinking, so that the plane would know where to land. And the pollen jocks, they were called pollen jocks. The pollen jocks with their commander come and go down under the plane, and they fly. They literally now they disengage and fly now the plane, literally just to try land it. So guys from the tower at the airport are like, that plane is about to land, but it looks like it's flying in the pattern of a bee. And then one of the engineers there said, but bees shouldn't be technically fly, it's impossible. Yeah, and then guys are like, yeah, we told you. So the plane is flying, going in, going out, because the bees are trying to land the plane where the other bees are. So Vanessa has to retract the legs and put the landing gear, and then the legs land, and then the ninis land, the flight lands, and then the cargo bay area of the flight opens up, and all the flowers fall out. They were purple flowers, I remember. And the bees were so excited seeing the reason why they work, flowers, pollen. So they got right onto the job. Pollen jocks were there with their guns, pollen siphoning guns, and they got straight into work. And then in the end, plants are able to bloom and live again because the bees went back to work. Productivity keeps the bee ecosystem alive. They produce honey as a result of their hard work. So that's where I was getting on from this movie that I watched, from that short Weixin video. If we all start crying, my point, I'm getting honest, we all have valid points that we don't need to overdo it. Where we go wrong is maybe the methods of how we smoke the the bees out of the hive. Sometimes we use nicotine. There are better ways. We can find herbs like rosemary and all that that don't make the bees angry, that calm the bees, and you're able to pull out the bee trays, the honey trays, the honeycombs, and do what? And harvest the honey and maybe take out a little of the old bee comb, and then put in a new comb for them to start building up from. It keeps them active. So if we all start becoming fighters for everything, because we have got vegans. I'm not even talking about vegans, because vegans, there is a special type of vegan that says we should not even eat plants because plants have life. Of course, every creation of God has life in it. God spoke life into it. So the people who say we shouldn't eat vegetables because we kill them. So now if we go from the beekeepers, we go from the animal, the PETA and all that, who say we shouldn't eat animal meat. And I don't know what you call them. If you know, you can comment down here below. And then you go to now this new breed of, we have vegans who say plants feel pain when you pluck them, when you cut them and all that. And then now we go to this we have this breed of people who now say humans are a bane to the earth, that the earth was meant to exist without humans. I don't know who gave them that stupid idea, but you know what? When God comes, they will be able to explain who gave them the stupid idea that they should wipe out all humanity and leave only a select few who breathe in special air. So then there's this breed of people who say that we are producing so much carbon that we need to have a reduction of the human race. I recently read an article that says the human planet, the Earth, is reaching its zenith in terms of population. Like, how can it fucking reach? I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to use curse words, but sometimes these things irritate me so much because people have placed themselves on the threshold of God, and now they want to say that they have the ability and power to cut a human life short. So the scientists wrote, it was an article on Google, that we need to reduce the population. You know, they've been trying to do this thing with the, you know, the thing is, because I gotta put, if I want to say that, I gotta put my tin hat on so we can discuss that, but I'm not gonna do that here. I don't want to be called this C word. But yeah, nobody has the right to diminish another person's life. To say that you're using too much carbon, that I need to prohibit you from using too much carbon from traveling in the world. The Bible tells us in the book of Genesis, and God said, multiply and fill the earth, have dominion and exercise your dominion over it. So God was not stupid to give us dominion over things. We were told one thing: just do not be cruel, you know, be good stewards of nature so that it can serve you well. So now we have this breed of people who say humans shouldn't exist on this earth, but 8 billion of us are too much for the earth. When there are places in this world that we don't even know, we cannot even, they are uninhabited. Somebody's telling you that because people concentrate in cities, that we are too many, that now you know what? That shows the entire earth is overwhelmed. The earth is overwhelmed because people are using pesticides that are dangerous and killing beneficial, sometimes weeds that are beneficial for sustenance of life. And I'm telling you this because I have learned, because I have some other things that I do in terms of my business. Not all weeds are weeds. Some weeds are herbs. There are beneficial weeds and non-beneficial weeds. Those non-beneficial weeds, you can't use glyphosate and this other thing from Monsanto to do what? To get rid of them, because it kills also the entire vegetation, and it encourages this nonsense of monoculturism, which is not supposed to be there, because nature is supposed to thrive in abundance, in mixed abundance. We can't just assume that the earth is overwhelmed because there's no amount of food to be produced. In the first place, if we had people like the Billy guy not interfering with African production systems, you know, heirloom seeds, ancestral seeds, and also not fighting so hard to own so much land in the US of A, so that he becomes the largest landowner, and he creates this monoculture system where if you want to buy the heirloom seeds from him, you literally have to spend hundred thousands of dollars to get them. If we didn't have people like those interfering, then we could see the potential of earth. Earth is not yet even close to its potential. Yes, we need to watch about pollution. We need to produce eco-friendly products like plastics that are biodegradable. That we need to do. That is not an argument, that we need to do. And if anybody tells you that the carbon is too much, Earth has had moments in its history where it regulates its temperature. We've got industrial output and all that. Sometimes we've pumped out chemicals that are not very healthy, but carbon has never been a problem. Carbon is the food for the plants. So if you limit carbon and then you say you're going to plant solar panels everywhere, who the fuck is going to drink that carbon in? The ocean is the largest carbon sink, and that's where oxygen comes in. So plants and the ocean, they work together. Plants produce oxygen. The ocean also helps with the microbes that are in the ocean to suck in carbon and release oxygen. So the problem is when we start having people starting to pinpoint that certain parts are not supposed to be, people should stop using them because they're hurting this, they're hurting that, there's going to come up with somebody who says water is life. Water is life when we've seen that water has structure, because we don't know, when you look at a microscope, that you can see water forming structures, you know. Then somebody comes and says water feels pain, because you can actually speak to water and it pulls and takes your words. So if somebody comes and says water feels pain, so all these things that we're doing, we're hurting water, we should stop using water, we should stop drinking water, we should start limiting water, it becomes very difficult, you know. So this whole thing of like, we have to stop using this because we are doing this, God didn't tell us to stop using things. The things that God is clear about us to stop using, even then He gave us an allowance. He said specific reasons as to why. But nature in itself, plants, He never said stop using them. Bees and animals pollinating and everything, He never said stop eating honey. Matter of fact, honey has been used for thousands of years. Bee products have been used for thousands of years. Beeswax was very key in lighting, making candles. So if you tell people to stop using bee products, if something happens and an EMP is, because we are living in a world where we are learning and discovering that there is even EMP weapons that can shut out entire cities overnight. What if an EMP goes off? Do you mean to tell me that we will stop making candles, we will start burning each other because we don't want to use bee products? You know, sometimes we get so overzealous about things that when you look at them, yeah, we have a right to get overzealous. What we need to raise awareness of is proper bee rearing production and safe products to use when you're doing the smoking to calm the bees so that you remove the honey. You don't have to use nicotine, because nicotine, imagine using nicotine on bees, you kill them in the masses. Now use nicotine on you, over a period of years it kills you. So we can advocate for better bee rearing products, systems, and we can also build better beehives, you know, to house bees and give them dignity as they produce something that is very valuable to us. So we have a lot of overzealousness that is placed in the wrong. It has all the right motives, but placed and said in the wrong ways. When you tell people stop using something because of this and this and this, provide an alternative. What else do you want them to use? And are there better practices that can be put in place to avoid over usage or over, you know, over taxing this particular system, so that it becomes, you know, a harbinger on the earth or on itself? And another thing, humans are not the problem. Sin is a problem. If humans were the problem, God would have not saved Noah and his family in the great flood, in the antediluvian era. Because you know, I'm Christian and I believe the Bible is true in every word, and it is the word of God. God saved Noah for a reason. He saw that the earth still needs humanity in it. After all, God did not create the earth just for a beautiful garden where you will just look at once and say, oh, beautiful garden, oh, I go back to heaven, oh, beautiful garden, and then he comes back. No, he literally created the earth for man. When you read Genesis, Good thing I have my Bible here. When you read Genesis chapter 1, God is very categorical. The entire Genesis is the importance of humanity on earth. Sin is a problem, and we know that the remedy for sin is God. So if we put God as the center of our attraction, we will do better in how we treat the earth, even the animals that He has given us, and our stewardships. In the beginning, Genesis chapter 1 says, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Then God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. God called light day, and the darkness He called night. So the evening and the morning were the first day. Then God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Thus God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so, that is rain and the clouds. And God called firmament heaven. So the evening and the morning were the second day. Then God said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters He called seas and oceans. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, the herb that yields seed according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. So the evening and the morning were the third day. Then God said, let there be lights in the firmament, the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons, and for days and years. Let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light to the earth. And it was so. Why did the earth need light? For what purpose? It's rejuvenation, because light comes from God. Then God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. God set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And so the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Then God said, let the waters abound with abundance of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the face of the firmament of the heavens. God created animals before human, so that because the human was the culmination of all His creation activity, of all His creativity, we were and are the zenith of God's creation activity on this earth for a purpose, for His glory. Then God said, let the waters abound with abundance of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the face of the firmament and of the heavens. So God created great sea creatures, and every living thing that moves, with which the waters abounded according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. So the evening and the morning were the fifth day. Then God said, and God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth. So the evening and the morning were the fifth day. Then God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature according to its kind, cattle and creeping thing and beast of the earth, each according to its kind. And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth according to its kind, the cattle according to its kind, and everything that creeps on the earth according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. You see, God has never seen anything He created as bad, including us. Sometimes, maybe when sin becomes too much, God regrets, like the first time and the only ever time He did during the flood. But even that, He still had mercy for His creation, and He saved humanity through Noah. So, And God made the beast of the earth according to its kind, cattle according to its kind, and everything that creeps on the earth according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. First authority that God gave to man, dominion over all of his creation, stewardship over all of his creation. So God created man in his own image, and in the image of God he created him, male and female. Not two males and one female, or not two females and one male. Male and female he created them. Then God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. And God said, see, I have given you every herb that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed, to you it shall be for food. Also to every beast of the earth, to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, in which there is life, I have given every green herb for food. And it was so. Then God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was a very good. So the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Thus the heavens and the earth and all the host of them, chapter 2, were finished. And on the seventh day, the day that matters most, God ended his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all his work which God had created and made. This is the history of the heavens and the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, before any plant of the field was in the earth, and before any herb of the field had grown. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain on the earth, and there was no man to till the ground. But a mist went up from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. We were given dominion over the earth. Dominion, in other words, means stewardship, care for the earth. The thing that we like saying, Mother Nature, Mother Nature, it should never precede humanity, because this earth, if humans are not there, it will overgrow, things will die. Management, nobody wants to create an office and just say, I don't need humans, I don't need workers, the office will just manage itself. Things will go haywire. Man was put as a manager, a prince on this earth to have dominion. Like all the other worlds that God has created, there is humans that He's created, and He put princes in charge. They are Adams and Eves. So when we have people saying that, oh, man should not do this, plants should not be cut, we should reduce the population because the earth can't handle, who told you? Who told you? And who gave you the authority to diminish God's creation? Selfish desires, sin, and agitation from the devil causes people to think that they're doing this for the common good. Who told you common good involves killing other people? Who told you? The common good lie that you need to take a life to save a life originates from when Caiaphas speaks in the temple when the priests, the Pharisees and the Sadducees are trying to kill Jesus, and he says, "You fools, don't you know, or what would it cost for one man to die for an entire nation?" And it stuck like that. Literally, they chose to sacrifice Christ to save themselves. The people who are speaking the eugenics and all that, the population criers, are literally sacrificing other lives to save their own lives. Selfishness. God has never sacrificed humanity to save himself. It's the opposite. Christ sacrificed himself to save humanity. So this idea, this all noblesse idea that other humans need to go so that you can live better, is bullshit. We can use things. I'm sorry, again, I called one. Please continue praying with me that I will stop getting angry enough to use those curse words. A Christian and an Adventist are not supposed to do that, but I'm really trying my best. So stewardship is very important. How we take care of the animals, plants, the land, and everything that we have, including even the properties that we're given, even the leadership posts that we're given, matters a lot. You are not given these things to satisfy your own desires. Yes, you can live comfortably, but not at the expense of other people. Like if you're a president of a country and your people have to suffer passing on dilapidated roads and all that shinding for you to fly on a private jet, then you're the wrong type of leader. You're the wrong type of leader that has unfortunately befallen land that needs proper guidance. Nothing we have been given is to make us lord over others. Even Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, the patriarchs, they were heirs and they were princes and they were rulers over vast lands and vast. My phone has gone off, so unfortunately, over vast pieces of land and vast pieces of flock. But what did they do? They made sure that they took care of all the wealth that God had bestowed upon them, and they treated their employees well. Let's not talk about the Haggai issue now because that's a woman issue, but in majority of the literally all the Bible, you read where Abraham loved his servants and was even willing to leave one of his servants as his heirs. So we are given this wealth for a reason, to serve God, to serve others, to serve God and to serve others on behalf of God. So if you find yourself thinking that I have amassed these billions, like right now Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, and now he feels like in order for him to, I don't know where they get this insatiable need for power. I don't know. Is it through their loins or I don't know. Is it an ego? Is it a penis? I'm sorry. Is it, yeah, because penis is scientific, so I'm going to use that. Is it a penis measuring contest that they have, that whoever makes more money gets to control more people and feels, I don't understand what you get from controlling people. Like I pretty much want to be in unison with my staff when we are working. And it's not that I have very many staff. I literally have just like 2 to 3 staff that I work with. Others are on contractual basis. I know they know my authority superrides their feelings and all that. And whenever it is that they feel like I am overstepping, they will tell me, I know you're this and this and this, but we cannot work like this. And true to the word, I always have this point where I'm like, I don't want to treat them the way I wouldn't want to be treated. Imagine if somebody else had that wealth that Billy Boy had and decides that, you know what, I don't like Billy Boy and his cast of people. I'm gonna get rid of him. I'm gonna seed the clouds, poisonous rain, poisonous chemicals in the air. I'm going to destroy their crops. I'm going to fund projects that require illnesses to break out from, illnesses that were literally not even looking for humans. and then people go out and look for them, and then they start experiments on how these things, if they ever, like, you go to Siberia, the deep frost of Siberia, you pick out a dead virus or a, I don't know, stagnant or whatever, and then you come and you reawaken it, reanimate it in the lab, and then you say you are studying this virus in the event that it breaks out and attacks humanity. This thing is buried deep in the permafrost, like thousands of years. It's never done the thing. You are here saying that now you want to study so that you can protect humanity from an encroaching or ever coming spillover into, like, the virus was just resting peacefully in its grave. You and your God complex, you go wake it, and then you go put it in an effing tube in a lab, and then some billionaire somewhere decides, I want to create a disease so that I can create a thing that helps. One thing I have learned about pharmakeia, unfortunately, because I'm now going, I've grown up in this family where herbology was very big, because we were treated with herbs almost all the time. Tongue issues, teething when we were kids, stomach aches, all that, plants. So I'm learning that for every pharmakeia product that you take, it causes a problem somewhere. My grandmother, God rest her soul, had been suffering from high blood pressure since when we were young, since the 90s. So she'd been taking, the doctors had prescribed to her, she'd been taking aspirin because it helps to lower the blood pressure. So over years and years and years and years of usage of this pharmaceutical drug, it turns out that it caused her an aneurysm, and not your typical aneurysm that, you know, you could go in with a stent and fix it. That's a whole other issue. This aneurysm was an abdominal aortic aneurysm. So my grandmother lived the last remaining months of her life bleeding. She would vomit blood, she would pass blood in the toilet, and it really drained her. So what is the essence of this story? I'm not here to have a pity party, because that's my morning and it's my private moments. This drug that was prescribed to help in lowering blood pressure eventually caused an issue that literally took my grandmother's life. She was just seated there at home one day and the aneurysm burst, and my grandmother vomited blood, and that was it. And she died a believer, and the good thing is she was a ripe old age of 85. Man, that's a woman I have seen grow up. I grew up seeing my grandmother. She was my teacher, so it was very impactful for me. She was my teacher. She has seen me get to the age of 36, 37, because this year I'm technically 37. I wished we could have more time. You know, there's some things you wish for those are private that you don't say them here, but it caught us off guard. Yeah, we knew, the doctors explained that this was gonna happen, but we didn't expect that it would happen that day. But it did, and for that we give God glory. There's nothing that we can blame God for. So if there were better alternatives for managing this condition through herbs, if we hadn't strayed so far away from what we grew up with, maybe we would have saved this issue from not metastasizing or whichever into a bigger issue like the aneurysm. God's intention was herbs were to save and heal. Pharmakea's intention is to cause you a problem that keeps you returning for another portion of theirs. Pharmakeia is literally witchcraft in Greek, sorcery. You keep on going back, potion making. You go back for another, they give you something that causes you something that you go back for another something. So you're literally in an ever-ending cycle of potion taking. And truth of the word is they have used products from nature and have synthesized them and created specific medicines, drugs that tackle something. But what I think is if the entire herb, like the tree that has aspirin or salicylic acid, has other components that when it's taken as a herb, those other components help in balancing this main ingredient. So we might assume that one ingredient, if you synthesize it and get it out, that it works better, but you find that, you know what, the whole plant was made to work in unison the way God created it. So enough of preaching. This is 57 minutes. Let me finish this quickly because we're gonna have trouble uploading this video. I've been trying to upload a video of the last two pieces of the Fleeting Heart series, and can I tell you something? They've been uploading for the last 3 days. Was it 2 days? Right now it's at 60%. I don't even know what percentage the other one is. Give me a minute. I put my power bank, my own products, I put them to charge. On my other side of the world, I also get power banks. That one was my sample. My first sample is not branded, but the others are branded. So we literally also have machinery from my Liz and Cattled Imports page and lighting that is branded, our own brand. Because apparently if you start importing things, I hope you saw the Shikohi style shenanigan that happened. When you are branding your own products, you're much safer because it's your own product. Nobody can say it's counterfeit. So it's also good time that we African business people, Kenyan business people, create our own brands so that they are not used as an excuse to rate us. So that was the reason the power bank was given to me, so that I could check if everything, the schematics are okay, and then we give it out. So normally we have those and we supply them to people who work for certain entities that I'm not at liberty to disclose here because we don't want you knowing what we do apart from this artwork and other things for sustenance. So yeah, so I am almost done with this pattern. I think one day I'm going to do a textile. You know what's the funny thing? All my textile, my artwork pieces, when I come up with a certain pattern, be sure that one day you're going to see it as a textile. I don't know how I'm going to get, but I'm going to, you know what, I will learn pattern making. I will learn textile making and I will come up with this pattern. I will try and see if I can do it on a computer, because you can do that, create the pattern, and then when I go back home to my spouse, I will keep him busy looking for factories that can create that textile, so that when he's not busy at his business, he's busy helping his mama get some stuff. So I am thinking I want to do my own fabrics because I don't want to do anything that is killing us. I want to do organic fabrics, linen, cotton, and I'm going to search a whole bunch of other fabrics, and if I can put patterns on them that are natural, and we're gonna have our online, hopefully, at our gallery. You can be able to get them there. I was very sure that the name of the gallery was gonna be VILBA'S or something, but I recently came up with a new name, and that's the one I'm gonna stick. So I'm gonna do, probably when we clock 10 videos, when I've uploaded 10 videos or 20, I will do the introduction of the gallery. At first it will be in a small place that I have in mind, if my friend can help, and then we will grow from there, because I also feel the need to want to introduce other artists' works to other people. It is a struggle getting galleries that can accept your artwork without charging you hefty fees. I've only ever found one such gallery in Nanjing, and it's in Shanghai. They don't charge me bucks and buckloads of buckets of cash, or retain majority of my income to for fees. So I want to give artists that opportunity as well. So someday in the future, if God gives my legs strength and my body strength, probably before I'm 40, it's gonna be set up and ready. And if God gives me strength, if we are able to do it by 38, that is all His glory and honor to Him. So in that gallery, you will also be able to find my books from VILBA'S Publishing, because I figured I don't want to overwhelm VILBA so much with so much. In the end, my goal, or the goal, is to have it as an umbrella parent company for all the others. So I want to leave a little breathing space for it. So anyway, so we're gonna have the books there as well, and people will come to see the art, and those who come to buy the books come buy books, look at my selection of books, the story behind how the book came into being. Then you move on to the artwork, and then the other artists who I will be able to curate and work with, and then the story behind how they came into being. Give people a chance to breathe. Life is really hard as it is. You have people who have so much talent out there, and there is gatekeepers everywhere. So I hope one day I can just open it and make also, the art scene in Kenya is very vibrant and people are slowly embracing it, and hopefully it will grow in the next 5-10 years. Maybe it can be somewhere, if we will not have been overtaken by the new world order that our president said there needs to be a new world order while he was in Seine, France, in essay in France. For whatever reason, nobody knows. He knows better. But you know the good thing? God says, man plans, then the Lord disrupts. So we keep on praying and kneeling in prayer that we faithful, and the many souls that are crying for reprieve, God will come through for us, and He sure will. So let me pause, because we're at 1 hour and 4 seconds. Finish the gem part, and then show you, and then say VILBA out, and then do my usual, the Lord bless you and keep you, and then we call it an evening. And if time permits me, I start off the other part, the other piece, that you're also able to catch up, so that we do quickly and get to our 20 pieces, to our 20 videos, and then I can show you the name of the gallery and the pieces that, my pieces that when I started earlier on, some of them that I have held on to, that will be debuting and starting there. Hey guys, so we are done. I promised you that was not gonna take so long. In the background I have my preachings going on by Pastor Doug Bachelor. I had to Google, I had to go pin on Pinterest to get my hair is so bad it needs to be done, but don't worry, it's gonna be done soon, like this weekend. And I'm gonna be looking pristine and lovely when I come here. And when I'm gonna start doing nice dresses like I said I would. Like, hey, look at the final reveal of my artwork. And then I twirl around and I walk around and I shimmy my behind a little. And then I'll be like, Please like, share, and subscribe. But seriously, please like, share, and subscribe. The piece is done. So the colors: gold, forest green or jungle green, mustard yellow. Trust me, when it's gonna be on canvas, it's gonna look great. And of course the gem had to be orange. It kind of breaks the mustard, or it vibes with the mustard a little bit. Don't worry, the gold will be, it will be shimmy 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 shama shama shama, yay, it will be shimmy shimmy shimmering. So that is the piece. Let me twirl it in your face for you. What do you think, guys? For the second piece of the You Are Precious Jewels, this is lovely, isn't it? Yeah, this is lovely. This is lovely, lovely, lovely. So guys, without much further ado, from me and my beautiful artwork, and from our talks, I want to say Vilba is so pleased to have you join her video and her artwork process. We keep growing at the pace God wants us to grow, and I'm grateful for the new subscribers in the house. You are welcome. May the Lord bless you. A like doesn't hurt, a share doesn't hurt, a subscribe doesn't hurt. So yeah, please do like, do share, and do subscribe. And because it's late at night, I want to say good night, and may the Lord bless you, the Lord keep you, may the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. Amen. So from me, Vilba, I want to say thank you so much. Let's continue liking, sharing, and subscribing, and let's continue growing this channel. And yeah, Vilba out. Catch you later. Bye bye. See you in the next video. Au revoir.